Hello, everybody. Welcome to Echo Underground. I'm Shanique.
This is Mike.
And on this podcast, we talk about movies, TV shows, and music, and any other interesting topics. Today's episode is going to be about the season one of the show Riverdale. So, Mike, what would you rate season one of Riverdale or the show as of right now, since it's new?
I'd give it an A plus. It's not a bad show. I'm not really too big on TV shows right now, much less TV with high schoolers being plot devices. But this one did a pretty good job. I am interested, and I know we're going to talk about it later. But I do actually have high hopes for season two and where they can take the story from here. Because I know they, well, at least you told me that they might take like a different direction from the real murders to something else that I ain't gonna say just yet. We're gonna talk about it later. But yeah, I'm invested now. It's not that bad. Definitely an A plus. Well, sorry, excuse me, it's an A.
Oh, not a plus. No, I'm playing. Um, all right, so I would definitely give season one of Riverdale a solid A. It did what it's supposed to. It makes you want to see season two. That's exactly what you want from a new show that's just starting. It built up the world perfectly. Now you have the serpents, you have the parents who also went to high school there, so you have that background, and all their parents know each other, which is kind of cool. You have the kids, you're introduced to like the main five, and you get to like see them interact, and you kind of get a feel of their personalities. And every character has potential to be something more. So I definitely think you guys should check it out. I think it's a good show, and I think even if you're not like a teenager, you'll enjoy the show. So we're gonna start off with our top three main characters. And for this podcast, we're gonna consider the main characters Betty, Archie, Jughead, Veronica, and Cheryl. And so my top three, no order here. One is Jughead. He's intelligent. He's kind of like he's an outsider, but he's smart. He's not really funny, but he definitely you can tell he cares about people from his relationship to his dad to relationship with Betty and all the other characters on the show. Even when he was like not feeling Veronica, he was like, "All right, I'll still work with you." You know. Number 2, Betty. Betty is also very smart. She's very passionate. Like when she don't believe something's right, like Miss Grundy, and she thinks that something needs to be fixed, or she don't like when people lie to her, she'll go after it and she'll do what's right. Maybe going a little overboard because she got some severe anger issues. She's the type of person that like needs to get out her rage, or she might snuff you in the face one day without you realizing. No offense to Betty fans. And then the third character that I really like was Cheryl, surprisingly, because when she first 2 3 episodes, I was like, oh god, you're one of those. Like, nah, I'm not feeling this girl. But even though she's crazy and bitchy and stuff, she's entertaining, and she makes me want to figure out how she fully works. Because I think there's a lot to know about Cheryl that we haven't seen yet. And it seems like she did some shit after her mom got out of that fire because her mom was burnt up in the preview for season 2. So I'm kind of curious about that. Michael, what's your top three main characters?
My top three, I think I'm gonna also go in no particular order for this one because I had to kind of revamp it to make sure it sticks within these five. And I was gonna go with one of them also being Jughead. You said he's not that funny, but I actually thought he was pretty. He's like one of them low key funny guys. Like he has like dark humor, which kind of appeals to me. It's okay. I don't mind it at all. I think it's come from a lot of places and experience. He's that kid on the outside, fly on the wall type. So he knows things. That wasn't me, guys. That was something else going on there. But my other character would also be his girlfriend Betty. Now I like Betty not only as in a relationship with Jughead, but as a character on her own because she got this other side to her that was not really she got exposure in it in one episode, and like there since on, it's only been kind of subtle and referenced by the people who were there when it happened. I thought that was cool, I'm kind of hoping they do something else with that later on in season two, maybe, but we'll talk about that later. And I believe third, I'm gonna throw in my I'm not saying in no particular order, but probably this one my favorite, Veronica, because she had like the most problematic position of all the five characters. Probably tie with Cheryl, but I like her more because she wasn't a bitch. At least,
Veronica's
at
not
least,
a bitch.
at least not full time. Stop. Hold on. At least not full time. Okay, at least not full time. She was part time, and then she definitely like I think early on was probably where she like shedding her skin from her past life, where she definitely was. But like she moved on to actually do more positive things in the story. Especially after they got out of the whole high school trope thing, I definitely started to like her a lot more because I was like, oh, here goes the high school drama, the typical stereotypes of the jock, weirdo, rich kid, yada yada yada. And I'm like, okay, cool. But after it moved away from that and like it started taking itself like a little bit more seriously, but like, not like too seriously to the point where it's like there was no humor in the show, and she managed to stay refreshing. She managed to have her own interesting connections to other characters, and yeah, that's my top three.
Okay, I feel in your top three. All right, top three secondary characters. Now, as of season one, definitely Kevin. Now, I thought they were gonna go with the, you know, gay best friend stereotype, but he's more than that. He has a personality. And he's not like over the top like girl and snapping his fingers and the stereotypical gay guy they normally put on television. He's more than that, and I want to see more from him in the future seasons. And I'm curious to see where they can take his character. Another one is Alice. Now she's Betty's mom, and she is a bitch, but I think what I like about her is that even though I don't like the way she does things, she does look out for her daughter. You know, like instances was like one when that whole thing with Grundy, she was like, "No, I'm gonna be an adult. That's not cool," and you know said something. I mean, maybe she went about a little crazy, but she was definitely right about Miss Grundy. Then, like, when she found out that her husband threatened Polly with, like, forcing her to have an abortion, she was like, oh, hell no, and threw her husband out. And she apologized to her daughter, and I like that. And anytime, even when Betty stood up against her, she definitely was supportive of Betty, and I like that. Even if your kid doesn't agree with you, you should still be there for them. Third favorite is Josie. Now, I'm an Archie comic reader and I watch the shows. And Josie's nicer in the show and like in the animated series and the comics more than she is on this show. But I like that they did like a race bender with her. I like that her mom's a mayor. I, I like that she's very passionate about her music career. She's trying to be like the next Beyonce. Alicia Keys, she's trying to get there and she's very like, I'm alright about that. I mean, her rant to Archie about like how can you write about a black woman's struggle might sound harsh to some, but I get what she was saying. You can't write someone's pain if you never lived it. So I like her passion. People might not agree with me, but I want to see more from Josie. What about you? Who are your top three?
Get top three is pretty cool too. One thing I do want to say though is about Kevin is I also do want to see more of him because like initially when the show started, I thought he was probably going to be like one of the main characters. Especially since like he had like since his dad being the sheriff, I'm like okay, clearly he has some kind of like maybe some detective skills rubbing off on him that you could probably like put to good use with the kids. But like the kids, their skills only come from them being nosy, not from so much detective skills. They pretty much break the law to do everything that they want to do, like breaking and entering, and
Well, they're
you know,
teenagers. They
I
have no
mean, yeah,
power.
no, don't get me wrong, I get that. It's just I was thinking they'd use Kevin as a means of, hey, you probably know something that your dad knows that clearly we're not going to go to an adult right now per se, but like we could use your intuition pretty much because I like his character like you said he's not like the stereotypical gay flamboyant type I feel like his relationship took him out of the main cast because of like he goes for like well according to him closeted guys until Joaquin came to the picture and even that relationship I was into only because I don't know I like polarizing relationships where it's like One guy is like the bad or the weirdo, and the other guy's like the other guy or girl is like the preppy or the proper person. But anyways, into my top three. I'm still on your top three. My top three also in no particular order, and this one actually is in no particular order. I'm going to start with my most surprising one that I did not know I would like, but Mr. Blossom. Now, I
What?
like him. I like him almost purely based off of how much of a plot twist it turned out while I'm regarding him, because it's not like he's one of them like super intricate characters or anything like that. But the one quality that he had was his secrecy. I think he did that just as good, if not better, than Betty's dad. I feel like those were probably the two shadiest characters in the show next to Vic, Veronica. I'm about to call her Victoria. Veronica's dad, who wasn't even a character on the show per se. Which, by the way, I think the
Hiram?
show did a huh?
His name is Hiram.
Yeah. Hiram, right? I'm Hiram or Hiram. How you pronounce it? Yeah, Hiram
Whatever.
Lodge. HR. I'm sorry, HL. I'll call him HL. But yeah, other than HL, who was like, I think also not on my top three, but definitely like a runner up for me. Like they handled him as a very cool like gangster type from jail because like he was never on the show, never said a single word, has no person cast in his place, so he's technically not on the show. But like he had so much connections and actions throughout the
Yeah, he
show.
was fucking up shit. Like, didn't he have what was it? Someone attack Archie's dad's like place of business while he's in prison?
Yeah, yeah, and even the kid got caught up in an moose, and I was like, oh, like it's been a couple episodes, maybe he's gonna come to the show. I'm assuming they're leaving for season two because they did leave it on a cliffhanger. We'll get to that in a second. My next favorite
Legit.
character, my next favorite character, and probably a pattern you'll start to see is I have a thing for the adults in Riverdale because like the show takes them in a different direction than most other shows do. Like a lot of times they're overbearing, which I get it, but Betty's mom pretty overbearing. Actually, almost every parent was wrong, pretty overbearing, but they're also responsible in their own ways. Minus Mr. Blossom, but we'll talk about that in a bit as well. But yeah, my next character is
And I would think Mr. Lodge. Like, he threatened Veronica. I don't like
yeah.
that.
Well, I mean, overbearing as an overbearing parent. He was overbearing as an overbearing gangster, pretty much.
He was
I don't know.
like, okay. He was like, now, do you love your mother? Okay. And keep your mouth shut, bitch. That's basically what he was like.
I mean, he paraphrased, but yeah, he was. That's exactly what he said. All not word for word, but word for word.
Word for word.
But yeah, my next character would be Archie's dad because I feel like he was probably the most responsible of all the parents in the show. Like he had so much going on. Like I think he had some layers to him too, but like they're all definitely good. Because everyone, even Betty's mom, had some kind of layer to her. Like she was ex serpent. She's got like this crazy side to her where she's throwing bricks through windows. Archie's dad, his business was going into the ground. He's like in the weird, like limbo in his divorce where it's kind of finalizing, but it's awkward and weird and just taking a toll on Archie. And I'm like, you know what? He's doing a good job because he's trying to say, hey, Archie, please sit still and stop trying to get yourself killed. There were gangsters attacking my construction site. Sit still. And he even got supportive about his whole music thing too. And I was like, oh, that's cool because he definitely wasn't on board with that in the first place. He's been a dad who wants his son to do sports, which I completely get.
Well,
So
he wanted his dad. He wanted his son to take over the business for him.
that too, right? Yeah, that too. But I mean, at the end of the day, my thing is, music came third. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
No matter what, like he wanted either sports or the business to come first because he's willing to say, hey, you can't come home because of football, but he can't say that for music, which was one of his passions. And my third, also going on to, I mean, sure, responsible, not responsible, whatever. I think this is a very polarizing subject here, but it'll definitely go to Grundy, who's there for only maybe half the season. I believe that she went out on a note that a real adult should be going out on
Pause.
when they get one sec. Hold on, there's some fine print in there. Don't worry, I get it. I'm gonna address it. But like, I feel like the show handled the whole relationship thing pretty well. Not only among the characters, like even Archie's friends who found out about it were like, chill. Like when your friends say chill, I mean, obviously your mom needs to say chill because not all parents are gonna be on board with that. But I was like, yeah, sure. She's kind of a predator, kind of a cougar, and
Kind of.
she's probably still up to her old ways, considering the way she left. but at least it was her call to get out of the town because the other options were, have Betty embarrass her family or have Betty's mom, press charges. Because I don't know where Archie's dad was. Archie's dad was definitely saying no, but like, dang man, what are you thinking? Like, like he's in that really weird spot where he hadn't made his mind up about what he wants to do next. But like, I feel like it was good on her to take it upon herself and get out of town, unlike other shows and other characters who decide to make that about their whole 7 seasons or whatever it ran. But I digress.
Yo, stop cutting on my favorite show. Anyway, anyway, shady, shady. All right,
Call it what
but
you want.
hey, I agree with you about the parents. The parents actually have personality. And
Hmm.
that's one of the things that I like when teen shows do. It reminded me of like another old show that I loved, One Tree Hill. The parents were just involved in the plot until they graduated, of course. But they
Hmm.
had personality and they were just as important. And when they were on screen, you didn't want to change the channel. And I like that about this show as well. So another plus for Riverdale. So actually, our next category, I actually wanted to do one more. Who's the character you hated the most this season? I'm actually curious about you. You like Grundy, so now I really want to know who you hated the most.
It's actually another parent. Like at first it was a love hate thing, but the more the story went on, the more I'm realizing you're kind of the catalyst for a lot of bad things happening here. And that is Veronica's mom.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because one, she wanted that relationship with Archie's dad, which she shouldn't have been trying to chase after, even against her daughter's will because she knows like yo you're still married they're technically one's like going through a divorce but technically still kind of married whatever what you want to call separated whatever you want to call it like that was a weird move on her part she did forge that one signature to help him out to even move on that whole problem and then she tried to play both sides. Cause as the story goes on, she was on Archie's dad's side first, and then when it moved forward, she was like back to Hiram's side because she started to realize how dangerous he was after she found out about the relationship. How dangerous he was after he found out about the relationship. And I was like, all right, you're playing both sides, and now Archie Dad is like in the is getting caught up in the crossfire here. It's not even like it was Mr. Blossom because Mr. Blossom, at least he was being passive about it. He was just buying up things and buying up work around him. But like Archie's dad was like, I will send goons to beat up you and anybody working for you, even if they're high schoolers. And I don't know, I wasn't really okay with her trying to play both sides. I don't like her trying to buy up the whole company for herself, and change the whole dynamic of what they had. 'Cause, like he was doing her a favor. He gave her a job that wasn't at Pops. Like you went from being a waitress, getting snakes in boxes get anonymously sent to you to an actual like desk job, which actually is holding you up a lot better than that was. And I'm like, okay, so I got you away from the gangsters, and you're still trying to act up. They even went on a date, not date, to the cinema, and then she was still shifty about that after that point. I don't know. She maybe it's just my thing about loyalty. My loyalty spectrum is a little weird with her, so that's kind of where she comes from with this one. To be honest, I could talk about this all day, to be honest, but like, yeah,
Okay, I have another thing. If she was so hard up from cash, why were they living in a penthouse? That's my first question. That
they
never
were
made
living on what
fucking.
they had. They were living on what they had left, and like for
But that
some reason,
doesn't
she
make
thought it was a good
sense
idea.
though.
I agree, and even Smithers was still there. I don't know if Smithers was there hiding from the dad still. And I'm like, what's he doing the whole time?
Right.
'Cause, like, if y'all don't have no money, why y'all still have a butler, servant, whatever you want to call him? You know?
Yeah, like I didn't understand. For people who were broke, they were acting like they weren't. Like I
Yeah,
don't understand that. But I kind of see your shiftiness about Veronica's mom. She was playing games. Penelope,
yeah, Penelope. There you go.
she was playing
Wait,
freaking games.
isn't it? I think Penelope's. Sorry, I thought Penelope was Blossom actually.
No, I thought
Her,
it was
it's no,
Veronica.
it's Hermione. I remember now. It's Hermione. Penelope's Blossom. We got the first names mixed up.
Penelope Blossom, like Cheryl's mom.
Yeah,
Oh well, fuck it.
it's actually Hermione. I remember now. I
Oh
just saw
yeah,
that
you're
two
right.
days
It
ago,
is
so it's
Hermione.
fresh in my head. Yeah,
She's the worst Hermione I ever heard of.
I know. I'm the only two I know of, but yeah,
No one could touch Hermione Granger. But
right.
my worst character of this season, it's honestly Mr. Blossom. Now
Agreeable, agreeable.
he is a piece of shit. Like, when you think of piece of shit, you see his face. Like, it's so bad. And it's funny because Mr. Cooper was getting on my last nerve. But
Yeah,
after I found out about his reveal, I was like, all right, son, I get it. I get you. I understand why you did a lot of things. You could have did things a lot better though. But I understand your thought process. Even though if you would have spoke up, things wouldn't have fucking happened. But whatever. Um, and then, but Mr. Blossom was getting on my nerves. From him, he got on my nerves so bad that I was like, man, even your wigs annoy me. Now that I know
right.
that's your real hair, I was like, man, even your wig, son. And his relationship with his wife was fucking weird. I couldn't tell whether they loved each other or not. But she was upset when he died, so I guess I don't know. Spoiler. Um, and like I didn't like how he tried to replace Jason with Archie, considering what he did. I didn't like how he treated Cheryl for being sad, considering what he did. So I just did not like him at all. I was okay with how the season ended, but he took the coward's ways out. So now you gotta dig into him and see what happened. But anyway, I guess we both hate the parents. One of the parents this
Yeah.
season.
As much as I give credit to the parents, I think a lot of the parents, not a lot, but a few of the parents, three mainly, Mr. Cooper, Mr. Blossom, and her Miss Lodge. I think those are my top
And
three
Mr.
parents.
Lodge was piece of shit too. Like
Well,
Mr.
see,
Lodge was a piece of
I'm
shit as a
he
person.
was. You're right. He is, but he's one of the. I actually like the anonymousness of his character
Well,
or
we've seen him.
anonymous. Well, we probably will, but yeah, we get to that in a second though. But yeah, go ahead though.
Okay, so those are our hated characters. My favorite episode, which I actually did the research and like got the episode titles, but mine is Chapter 10, The Lost Weekend,
Hmm.
which was Jughead's birthday. Now, this is the only episode where I had to side eye Jughead. I was like, you being over dramatic, man. Calm the hell down. Just pretend you like the party and get the fuck over it. Like, he was just being teen too much, but I still like that he defended Betty. It also has my favorite scene in it, which is the part where Chuck and Cheryl team up because they're mad at Archie and the gang,
But yeah,
and
secrets and sins. Yeah,
yep, and they basically air out all their dirty laundry in front of everyone. That's a really good scene. And I like that Jughead, stepped up for his girl and like punched the shit out of Chuck. But he got fucked up anyway. If his dad wasn't there, he would have got his ass beat. Cause where was Archie? Why did Archie let Chuck just fuck him up a little bit?
Archie
But
was a little drunk that night. I don't know. I think he was in slow motion. I don't know what's going through Archie's head in that
he was
episode.
just yeah, he had a bad night too. I felt so bad for Archie that episode too. Valerie was tripping real hard. She acting like he was beating her ass when he was just trying to apologize. And I didn't even think he grabbed her rough, but she was like, "Oh no, bitch!" Psh, threw water or beer or whatever the fuck that was in his face, and I thought that was just embarrassing. For no reason. You're at his house, like unless he physically was really attacking you. I think she kind of overreacted. That's just my opinion.
Black
And
people,
huh?
Black people were acting up in this episode. I don't know what was going through them.
Yeah,
Like
Chuck.
between Chuck and Valerie, and like, I was like, yo, y'all don't know how to act right now. Well,
Chuck
go ahead,
never
yo.
knew how to act. Just saying,
True
Chuck
story.
never knew.
True story. True story.
Who else? I kind of like the start of Veronica and Archie, but I don't see them lasting. I really don't. I don't think they work together, but I never thought they did. Not even in the comic series. But we'll get to that later too. I liked, man, there's so many things I like. I like the reveal that Alice was a serpent. I thought that was really cool, and I would love to see like I don't know a flashback episode of when the parents are younger,
That's
and like
true. I actually think
I,
that would work here really well.
yeah, I would love to see like that, and we get some secrets in. Again, I like Cheryl being an ass in this episode. I like FP telling his son to go talk to her, cause Betty's really good. Like she's loyal, she's truthful, she's standing by Jughead, and he got a lot of baggage, but so does she. And she's being honest, like, I have a problem, I have issues. When I get real mad, I'm afraid to explode, so I hurt myself. She need to cut her damn nails. Like, how many times do you have to leave marks on yourself to realize cut your nails? I don't get it.
Oh, I've never clenched so hard that my nail dug into my skin and bled. Like I've never seen. I didn't even know how tight that grip was when I ain't trying to find out.
Exactly. Uh, and then I'm also doing my least favorite, which was the episode beforehand, chapter 9, La Grande Illusion. I like this episode only for the wig scene, which I thought, man, rich people problems. When you can have a
Right.
whole wing for just your wigs, perfectly styled in different ways too, that's rich people problems.
hmm
But I
One
just
for each
thought,
emotion, as she said.
yeah, basically, I didn't like. Okay, we found out what Polly was doing. I didn't like that she hurt her family to do it, and she was pregnant, so I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Polly? Like, what the hell are you doing? You pregnant? Don't think they won't hurt you and shit.
Yeah.
I didn't like what was it? That Archie cheated on Valerie with Cheryl. I did not like that at all.
He's,
He was
he's
like
he
I
did.
wasn't into it, but he let it go too long.
Yeah.
That's automatic no. If someone did that to me, I'm gonna be like, did he even tell Valerie?
That's a good question. I don't know if he did.
See, he didn't even tell her. And I know she broke up with him because she was like, oh, now you remember me. It was
Right.
kind like that
He was
relationship
being
wasn't
shady.
gonna last.
He was being shady for a while, yeah. Which is bad. Because I know we talk. I know it's not like a category. Because this is one of the relationships I thought was so interesting regarding his music, at least. Like when other things came into the picture, like the whole murder thing came, and took priority after Grundy left. I was like, oh great, this is gonna work now because now the music gonna take a side step to the main story. But I feel like if the music thing was like as big as it was to him in the beginning of the season, I was like, this relationship right here is what I want. I don't want him and Veronica. I want him and Valerie. Because I feel like for a side character, like she did have some kind of development. Like she went from being a full time backup singer to at least like having a lead here and there on the bridges or whatever. And I was like, okay, that's how a show pushes forward side characters. But I digress.
You're a shipper fan. I guess is that your favorite ship? Like if we had a
That's
category, that would be your
if
favorite
if
ship of
if,
the
if,
season?
if absolutely yeah, yo. Like that's kind of what I wanted to see.
Yeah, well mine would be Jughead and Benny. But for obvious reasons. So we did my favorite and least favorite. What's your favorite and least favorite?
My favorite will go. I forgot. I don't know the list of the episode names, but I'll give it to the Dark Betty episode because like that kind of gave us another side of Betty to look forward to maybe in the future.
Episode 3.
Like she never, yeah, right. She never really came back, but it was always referenced to and like with the whole nail thing that we were talking about just a second ago. And I was like, yeah, that's a neat little Dr. Jekyll and Mistress Hyde type thing, as Cheryl put it, or what was Chuck? I don't know. One of them two said it, and I was like, yeah, that was kind of cool. And I do like the deepness of the episode with Ethel. Like she's also a side character who is still a side character to me, but I do like the episode though for her little struggle there with Chuck and like the whole Book of Conquest thing, because I was like, hey, you get to expose them and do the whole sticky maple thing, which is a really weird thing to do. I don't know, like it's technically cyberbullying, but I'm like, it's such corny cyberbullying that doesn't make any sense. Because at first I thought it was like overly sexual. 'Cause, like when they described it, they were like, "Oh, he put all that brown sticky maple all over you." I thought that was a racist thing. For like
No, no. But
I know what it is now, but I thought it was like a racist thing because I was like, "Oh, y'all went that route because it was Chuck." Word. That's a little deep for a TV show, guys. But then they just
well,
meant no. They actually just meant maple syrup, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of
no, no,
that's
no. You know what sticky maple actually is though, right?
no, no." I live under a rock.
So it's when you use maple syrup as a lubricant and you have sex with a girl.
I don't. I don't. Face palm. That's all I got. That's all I got. I didn't think I was
Courtesy
gonna
of Urban Dictionary.
didn't think I was gonna be educated on that. If that was the case, it's even worse now. Because not at first I thought it was a corny cyberbullying thing. Then I thought it was racist, and now I hear the real reason. I'm like, all three things are stupid. But it doesn't take away from it being my favorite episode though, because I do like the fact that they came to a conclusion with that whole thing. I do like Chuck getting thrown off the team and all the other the exposure of this whole conquest thing between Jason and Polly, which hasn't really got explained. Because if that really happened, then how are they an actual relationship? I don't know. Anyways,
Okay,
my
here's my thing for the Jason Polly thing. I think it was one of those things where he was like fronting for his friends, but he actually really cared about her.
yeah,
That's
that
what
was
I
my
think it
plan B.
was.
Yeah,
Even though he never talked ever once this entire season.
I mean, we see his mouth move, but we don't know what his voice sound like or
Yo,
nothing.
I heard his voice. It's mad deep and shit. I'm like, what?
I can believe that. I probably did hear his voice and I just forgot. Cause I'm like, it's so weird to hear it. Just like it just disappears in the back of your head because there's so much other things going on.
He's really
Anyways,
pale.
oh
Like
yeah,
he.
though him and Cheryl. Oh God, they're both pale. So I noticed she was wearing a dress at one point where like it was showing like a lot of cleavage, and I was like, yo, you ain't got like no color. Like you are a straight up ghost. What's going on here? Need some
And
sunlight.
especially in the water, when she was in that scene in the water, I was like,
Yeah, like yo,
what?
this ain't no sunshine in Riverdale, son. I don't know.
I
Anyway,
know. What's your
um,
least favorite?
my least favorite would actually be the first episode because I feel like, at least just for me, um, I had to get through the whole typical high school tropes first. Like, don't get me wrong, they did take it seriously, but like step by step, though, and this was the smallest step. Like they said, hey, there's a murder, but like, they still did the whole high school trope thing to me, and that I was like, I'm past high school tropes unless it's done differently at this point. But like, I feel like later on, it didn't bother me at all because I did end up giving this show an A. Like it did work out pretty well. Characters got developed in a way that I did not find predictable, and I was like, okay, this is pretty good. But I feel like the first episode just sort of banked on that to draw like everyone else in. I'm not everyone else, but that's all I got to say. I don't hate the episode. It's just my least favorite. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, guys.
All
But yeah,
right.
that's where I'm at.
All right. So next category, favorite scene. Now I have a couple for this. Now I
Hmm.
already talked about one. It's the sinners and saints and sinners game at Jughead's birthday party. That's
Right.
one. Another one I just thought of was the whole dinner with the Coopers and the Joneses.
Hmm.
I thought that was really interesting. I like how FP was like, "Don't use my son to get to me."
Yeah, he held his ground. Right.
Yeah, I like it shows what type of man FP is. I also I had the scene at the baby shower when Mrs. Blossom and Betty's mom was about to come to blows and she smacked like the shit out of her. That was like
Yeah.
a really good scene.
Yeah.
Great acting in all of those scenes. And then one of my another personal favorite for me was Betty and Jughead's argument, also in the Lost Weekend episode, where while I thought Jughead was being like stupid, it was really good as a scene, and I felt so bad for Betty.
Hmm.
I felt so bad. And then finally, it's a scene in the finale where Archie saves Cheryl from the ice, and I heard the actor actually broke his hand punching that shit, and I was like, that kind of makes the scene even better that you were willing to do that. Little team too much. I don't know why the others were just watching him punch the shit and not even trying to help, but okay. But I
Nah,
thought that was a really good
I
scene.
ain't trying to bleed either. Shoot,
Yeah.
that don't look fun. Why would I want to do it?
It did not.
Shoot.
I was like cringing a little bit. I was like, nigga, stop it. Something.
Hmm.
But yeah, those are my favorite scenes. What about you?
Geez, you took up a lot of my favorite scenes, but
Well, you can repeat. It's fine.
yeah. Well, one of my favorite scenes is definitely the ending. The plot twist with Mr. Blossom. I do like that. I do like the scenes with Hiram's actions taking place. Like it's the only kind of picture we get with him actually doing something as a character or like through the mail or whatever. Like I just kind of like seeing his actions or like his letters sort of like develop his character in the background, who we'll probably end up seeing. Hopefully they cast someone like really recognizable for this for his role because I feel like he's, like I said before, an interesting character who isn't there at all
I already
ever.
know. I already know who's gonna play Hiram. I know who he is, but I haven't seen him in a lot, so I'll be curious to see.
Okay, well, dang, I didn't do all that much research, but my next favorite scene. Oh, I had it on the tip of my tongue. What happened to it? Oh, when Grundy left, I definitely would give that whole scene when that came to a head. I was like, I do like that didn't just last forever. Like I said before, like they did
Stop
not wait.
hating.
Let me get my thing done. Anyways, I was like, yeah, this didn't last forever. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like Grundy 's weird like dilemma as far as like snitching and not snitching about them being at the thing to the place together. But I was like, she definitely was looking out for herself at that point,
Hmm.
which kind of sucked. But it at least shows more her character. The only other side of her character was she's kind of a predator, and she's very secretive about her
Very
pet
much a
life,
predator.
apparently. Yeah. Favorite scene. Yeah, pretty much everything you said. Because I really like the fact that okay, I'm just gonna repeat them anyway. I like the when FP held his ground and was like, "Yo, I heard y'all arguing about something that prom would be a dang shame if that got aired out since that's clearly what we're doing right now. Y'all want to air dirty laundry." Because I feel like if he brought that up, that dinner was about to be awkward, son.
Oh yeah, especially once we find out what it was.
Right. So that was definitely one of them. Um, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with favorite scenes. Definitely.
Okay, now let's talk about the drum roll. Jason Blossom's killer. Did you figure it out?
No, I mean, my thing is, I was so taken up with the process of the show than I actually was about predicting who it was. Because I knew like there was gonna be like certain clues that just would not, unless like certain details were exposed first. I just knew that there were certain clues that just would not let me figure it out. Because at the time that they everyone technically had an alibi. And there when with the whole murder wall that Kevin was working on, I feel like that was kind of where my head was. Like when they figured things out is when I figured things out. Because like even before they did it, when the detail themselves got put onto the TV, and I was like, okay, guess I can rule this guy out now. Because definitely I thought it was going to be Mr. Cooper at first. Because I was like, oh, when we figured out he ransacked the office, I was like, oh, definitely you. I did think the parents for a sec, like they definitely did have a problem with him like being the heir to the throne supposedly. But I was like, it didn't really make sense in my head too much. Like they didn't like Cheryl either until at the very end apparently. And I was like, okay, like, I don't see how that would work. So I guess that would probably be my one thing that threw me off the most because I definitely thought it would have been that. I'd have thought it would have been they wanted to replace him with Cheryl, but after this whole Polly storyline came in, we figured out why he wanted to leave and how he got caught and what he found out Mr. Blossom was doing. I was like, all right, I guess it can't be, but nah, I did not predict who it was. I let the process of the show pretty much.
Yeah, like I thought the killer was Betty's dad, right?
Hmm.
I was like, and it didn't make sense. Like the evidence he took, and I was like, he explained it why, but I was like, that's kind of stupid. I don't really
Hmm.
buy it. Even the reveal, which, well, we can reveal it. Spoilers. Jason and Polly are kind of cousins. Well, they are cousins, but they're like a couple generations off. So
Yeah, third
apparently
cousin.
that makes the baby okay. Whatever. Um, and Jason Killer was his father. Now, that's why again I put him as my top most hated character because I'm like, you literally got mad at your daughter for lying to the cops and did all this and yada yada, acted like you gave a shit, and you're the one that looked at your son while he was tied to a chair and shot him dead in his face. No hesitation. He screamed. Well, he was screaming. We saw him. We didn't hear it, and he just pulled the trigger. And I was like, nah, son. I don't know how I feel about it. Like,
Yeah,
it was
yeah, because they
logical once you figure out what Mr. Blossom was doing. Apparently, a lot of drugs. So I was like, ain't no way. They living like that off of maple fucking syrup.
what's crazy is I never questioned that. I just thought, okay, sure. I was like, I thought they were like the Bill Gates of the maple syrup world. Like, okay, shoot, put Miss Butterworth out of business. Go ahead then. I didn't know the business
Yo,
was worth that much. I legit no,
what?
I legit thought that because I'm like, that means someone else in the family or at least on their committee must have thought that
Yo,
they're making a weird amount of money for maple syrup. Like no one ever asked any questions in the committee or in the family.
no,
That's
I'm pretty
crazy to
sure
me,
the
son.
whole family fucking know, except his wife and Cheryl. I feel like everyone else knows, or at least majority of them know where the money coming from. Cause
You
if
see,
you see the
that
rush,
mean that mean they can all be implicated then,
yeah,
because oh well.
Yeah, I mean, and again, he took some coward out and he killed himself, and it's like now we got to figure out what happened. So I guess we can go on predictions for season 2. So I have a couple. Maybe you'll agree with me
Hmm.
about each character. I think Archie, he's not gonna handle his father's almost getting shot. I don't think they're gonna kill his dad. At least
I
not.
don't think so either. Hmm.
But I don't think he's gonna handle his father getting shot pretty well. I think he's gonna do the typical thing, drink a lot and be an ass. And Veronica's gonna be like, "Man, my man acting stupid."
Right, he can't handle it right now. Yeah,
I know he's in his feelings. Betty, I think she doesn't really have anything that I would think would happen with her in season 2. I think her relationship with Jughead would go on. I don't think they're gonna last through season 2 though. I think they're gonna try to do something with Betty and Archie next season because I mean, as much as I love Jughead and Betty, this show was founded on them, and there's some people who don't even like those couples together. And if if you're going to like hold a little bit close to the comics, he has to date Archie. She has to date Archie at least once. Maybe it gets something. I think they're gonna throw a bone to those fans. So I don't think Jughead and Betty are gonna last through the whole season. I think Veronica, she ain't gonna like her dad coming back. I don't think her relationship with her father will get better at all. They're gonna get worse, and she's gonna probably they gonna come to heads eventually. Hell, I think Fred and Hiram's gonna like bump heads eventually too, if he's alive, and I'm wrong. Um, what else? Oh yeah, the Blossoms. They gonna lose a lot of money,
oh yeah,
a
all of
shit ton of
it.
money. And I think the Serpents probably has something to do with Fred's Dagon shot. I mean Archie's Dagon shot as well. And I think Cheryl's gonna lose her mind. I hope Kevin. Well, that's the next category. What other predictions I have? I'm just excited to see Hiram, and I think he's gonna fuck shit up. I think he's going to try to take the company from Fred while he's in the hospital, though. I think he's gonna be that type of sneaky. And I think Cheryl's going to be really on cray cray mode. And Dark Betty's gonna make a comeback.
Oh, definitely.
What about you? What are your predictions for season 2?
Geez, I'm gonna end up repeating most of what you said, but with like slight differences. I feel like Jughead and Betty probably gonna be like that one relationship that they probably should hold on to because like I know since especially with like high school shows, like relationships just sort of shuffle season to season or sometimes mid season to mid season because like they high schoolers are never consistent. They're in high school, so of course they can't be. But I feel like the one that I do want to happen at least is keep Jughead and Betty's together because I don't know if I think he's still at the school, right, Southside.
Yeah, he's out the school.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like his main connection right now outside the school, and apparently it's a school full of outsiders, which he kind of fits in. This is I don't know, all the loners can not be loners at one place. I don't know, which I thought was going to be the other way around, but I feel like that school is going to be, it's not going to play too big of a part. I think right now it's just like a distance thing, and him and the whole foster family thing. I kind of want to get into that actually because we actually haven't met that family. We don't know if he's going to have new circles, so I'm kind of interested about that. I'm interested. Well, I mean, I know he got shipped off, so I guess not really. I mean, he left. I mean, I wanted to see what Joaquin's part would be in this whole thing now, because technically he was involved with the
Yeah,
whole
he
murder, or
was.
at least the cleanup. And so was FP. I kind of want to see how his trial pans out as well, which I'm pretty sure is going to be for the worst. I feel like his character did his part, so I'm not going to be mad if he doesn't come back. Hiram, when he comes back, is gonna go crazy. I know that for a fact. I feel like that's probably gonna put a strain on Archie's family as well after it comes to light what Hiram is, because I feel like that's probably their logical next step. Hermione, she's gonna be playing Hiram's side now. I feel like she's made her mind up, but I feel like she might be conflicted at some point because Fred's in the hospital. Let's see. Now that the whole Jason thing's been laid to rest, I don't know what I see for Cheryl other than her just going nuts. Like I do want her on the show still because she's a very dynamic character. Like even though she's kind of the typical high school bitch, I feel like she's got layers to it though. Like there were times where like she was kind of a good guy. Like she invited Veronica after she apologized or whatever to the whole sleepover thing, which is kind of awkward, but it kind of worked out in their favor, sort of, kind of. And they even tried to. She even helped out Archie with the whole practicing with Josie and her band. So yeah, I don't know. This next season could go a whole bunch of ways. Like I'm interested to see what they do with it.
Yeah. Um, Another thing. We're gonna get into our hopes for season two. Like I said, I hope they kind of bring in more elements of the comics. I don't think we're ready for Sabrina the Teenage Witch yet. I know they talked about doing it, but I don't think we're ready yet. That would be like a season three thing for me. Uh, and it's funny. I would love for the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch to play Helda. Just saying. I would
Right.
actually like that. It'd be a really cool twist. One hope, they gotta do Reggie correctly. They did not do Reggie right at all. Like he's supposed to be like a frenemy to Archie, but he barely had a character, and it's probably because that guy was doing 13 Reasons Why. But I think Reggie's supposed to be more important than he is. They need to fix that, and so is Kevin too. So I hope for season two that they do their characters right, and Josie. They need to fix all three of those characters. They need to give them more of a role and write them more accurately. Jughead's pretty much fine. Yeah, I like to see him more trademarks of Jughead going on. Like I said, I kind of want to see the Betty and Veronica Archie triangle because that's what the show was built on. I kind of want to see it a little bit, but there's ways to do it without, going the typical route. Because, like, I'm not really feeling Archie and Veronica only because, not because they don't have chemistry. I think they do have chemistry. It's just that I don't think they were ready to be together. That's just my thing. Maybe people disagree with me and they're the shit, but I just don't think Archie and Veronica were ready to actually date. I don't think they were there. Jughead and Betty, they moved quick, but I thought they were date. I thought they were ready. And Betty needed a guy who wanted her. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Not needed per se, but I think it was really nice for a character, for a guy to love her and not get freaked out. And Archie would be the same if he returned to feeling. So that'd be interesting as well. And I hope that Hiram does get found out because I want that scene. And I want them to incorporate more of the weird parts of Archie. Slowly though, you gotta build people up because if you just start doing it, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" You gotta
Yeah, it's
slowly,
gonna be
yeah,
little too
gotta,
cartoony for some people.
yeah, yeah. I mean, not the aliens, like not that,
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah, right. Not like Archie
but
versus
like the
Predator. Right.
supernatural elements. I kind of want them to bring that in, but slowly, like build it up to there, like sprinkle it here and there. Just don't throw them in there, you
Hmm.
know. What about you? What do you hope for season two?
I do see that they're like I agree with what you said a little bit about the other characters getting fleshed out a little more. I do agree with that because there are some characters probably will be distancing themselves from the show, which kind of leaves more openings here and there. And like there were some characters in the like the ones you mentioned, and even Dylan Doyley, whatever it was, like he kind of had a small part in the show. He had only like maybe 2 episodes that he was actually involved in. When they found out that he was the one who did the gunshot in the forest when he was practicing with the scouts, and when he was at the Sins and Secrets party or Secrets and Sins party, whatever you want to call it, whichever direction. But yeah, I kind of want to see more of his little psychotic weirdness going on. I do want to see more of Jonesy, like sorry, Josie. I keep calling her Jonesy, but Josie and her dynamic with her father. Like the mayor, I kind of enjoy right now. Like she's playing a loose but not so loose part in the show. But I kind of like that. Her dad, I'm definitely curious about because apparently he has like a lot of influence on on Josie. I kind of want to see that third girl have a personality, like a Melody, because I know we all know what Valerie's like, and I kind of like Valerie. I hope she's not like a an asshole from here on out just because of what happened between her and Archie. But Reggie, I do like Reggie. As like a like to hate him kind of thing. I like a problematic kid on the show. It'd be interesting to see what happens next because I don't know if he was ever like directly incorporated into the whole story other than Archie and the football team thing or the comic book of conquest thing. Chuck, he can go away. I don't really care for Chuck.
Chuck Foley.
Uh, yeah, no, Chuck Clayton.
Chuck Clayton. I'm thinking of the
Right.
wrong one.
Yeah, I'm about to say, where are you? But yeah, he can go away. I don't care about him. You know whose story I'm actually interested in now? Now that Harm's coming back, I kind of want to see what happens to Ethel and her family, which is really weird because I only thought Ethel was played a part in 2 episodes. But finding this out would probably be giving her some more wiggle room for her and her family to get fleshed out. Who else do I want to see now? I feel like the main five are kind of okay where they are. Like right now, wherever they go, I'm confident in it. Other than the relationship, I kind of want them to hold on to that because I know how they are with high school relationships.
I
They're
mean, like a good example of a show that kept a relationship is One Tree Hill with Nathan Haley. They were together from season one to the last season. They broke up like one time, but they worked through their things. And
hmm
like, I don't mind that, but I don't think like my thing is I don't think Jughead and Betty are going to last.
I mean, that's
Oddly
fair.
enough, if Archie becomes an option, I don't think Jughead and Betty are going to last, given the right
I'm,
circumstances.
I mean, that's kind of where I'm coming from. I'm agreeing with that, but I'm saying it's just what I hope. I know I'm probably not gonna get it. I'm completely ready to see the predictable ending of their relationship. Um, I do actually want the one story that I'm actually one of the most interested in now, which actually might lead to them breaking up, was at the end of the season when they showed Jughead putting the serpent's jacket on. So I feel like that could also be another story arc in itself. So yeah, I'm definitely mostly interested in that now. Now the FP's out of the picture, and like he's technically like a natural heir to his position in the Serpents. Not like a leader, nothing like that, but like they got his back. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with predictions.
Okay. I have a question. And
Hmm?
this is going to be the last question, and then we're going to close out the podcast. But Archie's dad, was it a random robbery, or there's something else going on?
The show made it look like it wasn't random, especially with the narration at the end. But it looked random because like he came in there looking for the safe for like a good couple seconds before he even saw Archie's dad, and he was almost surprised.
Yeah, and how did he get shot instead of Archie?
Oh, that's camera tricks. I ain't even gonna get into that to be honest. I feel like that's just Hollywood making it look like Archie when the one got shot. We know Archie ain't gonna get shot. They need him in the show.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying, but like the way it looked, he ran there.
Hmm.
So I get the switch, but I don't see how he was faster. Maybe he shot the gun faster than Archie could run.
Well, I'd assume that was the case. Yeah, I'm not faster than no bullet.
Hey, the Flash is.
Hey, wrong show.
All right, all right. Any closing remarks about Riverdale, or can I bring it home?
Bring it on in, girl.
All right, all right, all right. So, guys, this was our review of season one of Riverdale. Let us know what you think. Do you agree with us? Were we too generous? Do you think Riverdale's like, okay, or do you agree with us? It's a really good show, had a really good first season, and we want to just hear from you guys. So you could contact us through our Facebook, through our website at podbean.com. Also on SoundCloud. You can leave comments or just follow us so you can know when the latest podcast will be up. And you can even send us emails at echoundergroundpodcast@gmail.com. And you could tweet at us suggestions or give your opinions. We want to know what you guys think. And our Twitter handle is EchoU Podcast. And I guess just let us know. Give us ratings, give us opinions. We're on iTunes as well. We're on every podcasting app you could probably think of. You can even just like it. Hey, we write about everything. Like the video, like
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
See ya.